Jim is so deserving of this award. Currently, he is a member of the University of San Diego Coaches Hall of Fame, the Bay Area Prep Hall of Fame, and the University of San Francisco Basketball Hall of Fame. Quite a resume. And he has served the university so well as a player, as a coach, as a confidant, really, and caretaker of the USF program. Jim came to USF from the University of San Diego. He was the West Coast Conference Coach of the Year and started his USF coaching career in 1984. The Toreros won the WCC championship. And what Jim did at USF from 84 to 95 was re-emerge the Dons back to national prominence. And I thought that was really important at that time. He had signature wins against Notre Dame with Digger Phelps, big wins against LMU when they had Gathers and Kimball and that great LMU team. And Jim immediately put the Dons back on the map. And he went on to the NBA and coached the Denver Nuggets, Washington Wizards, ended up head coach of the Washington Wizards, and passed that torch to the NBA and came back and helped USF. And he's been around the USF program ever since. And it took a special person to kind of navigate the Dons through some difficult waters and eventually put them on solid footing, and that's what he did. Jim, I just want to thank you for allowing me to take the opportunity to say a few words on your behalf. I've had a front row seat on your whole career, and I am so proud of your accomplishments. It's just been a great ride. And you have passed the torch so many times, but tonight the torch is being passed to you. And the light will burn forever because it will be in the annals of the West Coast Conference. It is so well deserved, and congratulations. It is my pleasure, on behalf of the University of San Francisco, to induct Jim Brovelli into the 2015 West Coast Conference Hall of Honor class.
Thank you. I think I'll get this out of the way real quickly. I have some former players here, so that one shot of me taking that jump shot, I bet you never thought your old coach had those hops. I want to introduce my family here. My family is here, my wife and my son and my daughter, my son-in-law and my two grandsons, Tyler and Hunter. And I have one story about my wife, and all the coaches here. The wives know how tough it is more than the coach, I think. When I was at the University of San Diego, my son and my daughter were little guys, and she brought them together, and we had an old player piano in the house. And she told them she's going to move the player piano from one part of the living room to the other, and she told the kids, I bet you Dad will not know that we moved the piano from one area to the other, until the end of the season. Well, season started, season progressed, and I'll tell you what, by May or June, I walked into the house, and I went up to them and said, my goodness, you guys moved the piano. And I'll tell you what, they just laughed at me, and but it's typical of a coach. I never knew what went on from October to March, believe me. So thank you for putting up with me. I really feel a part of this conference because I've been in 3 different schools, actually 4, because I got my master's degree at the University of Pacific. But I look at, first of all, at my playing experience at USF, and we had great teams. We were ranked in the top 5 in the country, nationally ranked, and we won the championship. And I had great teammates there, and we're lifetime friends because of that experience. My first college coaching job was at the University of Portland, and I had Jack Avina there, and he hired me. And Jack is a great teacher, a great coach, and a great mentor to me. And whatever I learned in coaching really was through Jack. And he put up with a young guy that made a lot of mistakes, and I learned a lot from him. The next school I was at the University of San Diego, and when I had that job, or took that job, San Diego was a Division II program. And I remember going into, after about 3 or 4 years, going into the vice president's office, vice president by the name of Tom Burke. In fact, he's been inducted here already. And I walked into his office, and I had a long list of reasons why the University of San Diego should be in the WCC. And he looked at me, and he said, "Coach, why don't you just go win some games and come back and see me next year?" And so it was very typical of what Tom would say. Well, at the end of that year, and we have some players here that were on that team where we won some games and enabled us to coach a player such as Scott Thompson, who's honored today. And thank you guys for winning to enable us to recruit a guy like Scott. And congratulations, Scott, for this great award today for you. Then I went to the University of San Francisco. USF was bringing back their program and reestablishing it. And Father Lo Schiavo, who, by the way, just had his 90th birthday last week, hired me to reinstate the basketball program at USF. Well, when you grow up in the city, as I did, San Francisco, in grammar school, you listen to the great teams of USF and Casey Jones and 60 in a row. So you remember all that. Then I played at the University of San Francisco on a nationally ranked team, so we kept that tradition going. And to be asked to bring that program back really was quite an honor. And we did that. And we had some success, and was challenging, but also very rewarding. And at this time, I would really like to thank the athletic director of USF, Scott Sidwell, and all of those responsible for selecting me as one of the inductees here in this prestigious event. And this is really quite an honor. And to be included with this special group of honorees really is quite an honor. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.